Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast for the week of Sunday, April 7th, 2019. I'm your host D.
This is Juice.
And we
special
got
guest.
Somebody on the line.
From back in the day.
Hello?
Hello?
Who's this?
Caller?
How you guys doing, man?
Oh, snap.
What up, what up?
It's Chris Edwards, a.k.a. the Breadman.
A.k.a. CeeLo.
Right. The Pillsbury, the dough man.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A.k.a.
I like that.
the businessman.
What's going on, C, man? How's San Antonio, Texas treating you, man?
Oh, it's doing good. It's about 75 degrees right now. Starting to heat up, though.
Right.
But it's pretty good. Life is good, man.
Hey,
How
see,
y'all doing?
Real quick side question. How you feel about the AAF? Because I know San Antonio had a team down there, right?
Whew. Well, that alone was a whole different situation.
That kind of sucks, yeah. They suspended football operations, right? So it's like, that's crazy.
Like
how you start a league and you don't even make it through the first season, man?
Yeah, it's done. I mean,
did people go to the game? I heard that attendance at the San Antonio AAF games was very high, like the highest in the league, because they didn't have a professional team down there. So
not a professional football team.
Right,
right.
Right.
They got obviously the Spurs, and I forgot what their professional soccer team is down here.
Right.
But they also win championships also, so that's why I'm surprised.
Right, because there's no home football team in that town,
No.
so I heard the attendance was like the highest in the league, the whole AAF.
Yeah,
It's
you
crazy.
can probably blame that on Jerry Jones, because the Raiders were supposed to come to San Antonio, but Jerry shut that down.
Of course, and I heard that the championship game for the AAF was supposed to be at Jerry Jones Stadium down there at the Cowboy Stadium. So I'm like, man, that sucks, man. What's going on with the AAF, man? It's crazy.
It was their new owner.
She was crazy.
I forgot his name, but he pulled a plug.
Right. I heard he was losing a lot of money though. But I'm like, at least finish your first season. You know what I'm saying? Like, finish the first season out. You know.
He didn't even give him a chance. He put the money up for them, and then when he noticed he was losing money, he just pulled a plug.
Right.
So,
Which I can't blame him, because this is like getting into like the millions. It was the high, almost $100 million that he lost. You know, or something like that, $70-some million. I'm like, man, hell no.
nah, he put up $250 million.
Right.
God
With
damn.
a float. I mean, he's a billionaire, so that's like
Yeah, that's like
pocket
it's
change for him.
nothing.
pocket
I
change.
mean, so he can afford to take. It's not like he is suffering because he lost that money. You know what I mean?
This
Right.
again,
It's just a bad investment on his part. But you had to expect nobody was going to attend games. You know what I mean? You're a new league. But I dig spring football though. I like springtime football, man. It's you know.
It was football. It was football.
Right,
I mean,
and I was watching the games.
yeah, a lot of people, and the other thing that was a problem with it as well, like they didn't have a set time or channel.
Right,
They didn't
right.
get that all set up for it.
Yeah, because I went to watch one game and they only streamed it online. I was like, I gotta go online and watch it. They don't have it on. I mean, because I know people that were looking for the game specifically on Sundays. Like, what you gonna do today? I'm watching the AAF game. You know,
So what makes you
Hold
think
on, let me
about-
ask though, what is AAF?
it was like a developmental league. It's actually not even for the NFL. It was a separate football league from the NFL.
Alliance American Football. That's what it was
Alliance
called.
American Football?
But they could have used it. The NFL messed up because they could have used the AAF for a farm league, you know, like so you can develop your quarterbacks and your receivers, how to run routes, your linemen. So that way these guys coming out of college are not just thrown right into the NFL fire unless you're ready for it. The guys who are not ready could have went to the AAF, spent a year or two there.
Is that what normally happens though? Because
We
I
don't
always
know, 'cause
thought that people normally go, like if you're signed, you just go from where they pick you up, was usually at college, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
And then you signed immediately to the team if you get drafted.
See, we don't know
Yeah.
because as of right now, the college game was a developmental game for a lot of the players. So they go from college straight into the league.
Yeah.
The AAF would have gave a chance for those players who
Didn't
might
go
not
to
have played
college.
as much in college or didn't get as developed as well as they could have in college.
Does the NFL recruit from high school?
No,
They can't.
but the XFL next year is going to aren't they going to have that option for guys to go straight from high school into the XFL?
if they're good enough to, I believe Vince McMahon is actually setting that up to make that happen. But right now, they're actually trying to partner with a network to broadcast their games.
Right.
Yeah.
But the NFL, they didn't have to do anything because they're getting their best talent from college anyway.
Right.
So they didn't have to even. Honestly, in my opinion, they didn't care about AFF. AAF, sorry.
I think the players would have cared more about the AAF than the NFL, because the NFL, they already have their game, their brand, they're already making their money. The players
know how to get people too, because just get them from college and
the guy who's drafted in the 6th round, who has a long shot at making a team, could have still got some tape and some exposure being a part of the AAF, where scouts and NFL execs were looking at those games like, okay, this guy can play a little bit. We might have missed him in the draft, or this undrafted guy, can actually play. Let's bring him in for a workout or something like that. It's definitely a missed opportunity for the NFL, man. But I wanted to ask you, Doug, because you were down there in San Antonio, and I know San Antonio had a team, man. And they just announced it this week. Was it Tuesday, Wednesday, that they were suspending football operations?
Yeah, it was. I believe they officially shut down on Thursday.
Wait, so this is an official permanent shutdown, or until next?
They were in the middle of the season. I think they had 2 weeks left in the season. It was a 10-week season, so this was going to be week 8. And the guy who's in control of everything just said, "That's enough. Stop. We're stopping football operations." So everybody who was employed by the team, that's it. All the players who were employed, the people in the front offices.
Wait, there's no contracts?
I heard they were having a big problem with payroll. So they were having a problem. That's where they were losing most of their money, is they had to pay the players. But they weren't making any money off of concessions or the TV deals.
That's a bad plan,
because people weren't going to the game, so they weren't making money back.
Yeah, they rushed it because they knew the XFL was coming also with a league. So they said instead of wait and take more time to develop their all the logistics and everything in the background, they rushed it because they want to get an upper hand before the XFL comes out.
Which Reggie Bush said this the other day. Why didn't the XFL and the AAF just kind of merge, right? Wouldn't that have been a smart play? I mean, you're competing leagues, but I figure together you're stronger, right? You have more of a financial base.
That's true. That's true, but you talk about people with big egos and a lot of money.
Right. It's hard to tell. Look at Trump. It's hard to tell a millionaire what to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, even if he is president of the United States. But I guess that's neither here nor there. It's a good segue, good introductory right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to do a segue, we could segue from that to the Mueller thing, but that's another time.
Right, okay. So we'll do Mueller later.
But, I did want to say, thanks again, man. C hooked us up with these fresh Lot Design shirts. So, Lots, I don't know if you guys know, but a quick summary. Lots is an idea I came up with when I was in college. Stands for Life Other Than Society Standards. Made a few shirts, some clothing, things for different people. It's more like a set of principles, right? So, C was like one of the guys who helped encourage me to keep like promoting this idea and everything. So and he's still like backing me up on this thing. So maybe one day it'll become something big and whatnot. But for now, like he hooked us up with these shirts with the Lots logo on.
I remember when we were starting the podcast. Was there not a moment in time where the Lots was considered in the title? Was it because
I was thinking?
Did we always settle on Intelligent Idea Talkers?
I did float the idea of the Lots Cast.
I thought so,
but it's something we might work on later.
Right,
like the Lots Cast is an idea. I'm writing it out.
Yeah, that whole thing was dope, man. It was dope back in high school, man.
Deacon got the joint right now. You know what I'm saying?
Life Other Than Society Standards.
But if y'all could have seen the shit we made back in the day.
Yeah. Juice said we means him, y'all. Juice is the artiste. Yeah. You know what I mean? Juice was making gear for the whole crew.
But these was the dudes who was cool enough to rock my stuff.
Oh, no.
Because we'll talk.
Niggas was asking me, that hoodie, niggas was asking me, hey, man, where you get that made from, man? That joint had Goku on the back, charging up. Like, yo, what's that?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool, man, because, like, without people to, wear your gear, like, help promote you.
What you sipping on there, C? What's that, a little gin and tonic? Or what?
Nah, just water.
Oh, man.
You see that, yo?
Water. You know what I'm saying?
But going back to Lots, though, it's not only an idea, man, it's a movement.
Okay. All right,
you know what I'm saying?
Literally, since you brought it up back in high school into college, and you guys know this from just knowing me all these years, that I've been using it as my lifestyle. Like, I try to live as best as outside society standards, because you live as, if you continue to do the same thing over for a certain amount of years, you get the same results.
Right.
Do something different to get different results.
Yeah, what does it say? They attribute this to Einstein, but I don't think it actually is. But there's a quote that goes, saying you keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Like, that's the definition of insanity, right? So it's like you have to try new things. And sometimes living in those tight confines of society, like, those confines are confines. They are restraints. They are chains on your mentality, on your ability. And if you're not able to shake off those mentalities and live outside of those society standards, and it manifests in different ways. You know what I'm saying? It's not always like the clothes you wear. Sometimes it's the things you do, right? The things you enjoy. All these things, you know? And that's part of the beauty of it. In a way, a lot of that is super American, man, because we have the freedom to be able to do that, to be able to think that way.
And I think one thing that's so dope about the whole life other than society standards, the whole lots concept, was that like our circle of friends that we've had, you know, have always done a good job of kind of going against the grain of the mainstream, right? Like none of the guys that we had in the quote unquote crew, you know, the circle of friends that we all three of us know, kind of fit within that I just want to be cool thing. You know what I mean? Like none of those guys are like I'm just too cool for school, dude. There's like it's always this, you know, nerdiness was cool. We was nerds before it was cool to be nerds, bro. All right, like so we was into this stuff before.
That is so true.
Like
though.
we none of us are like this mainstream. You know, I want to listen to trap music, and you know, it's always I'll do my thing. I'll do what makes me happier.
Do what I like.
Fun to me, you know,
which is embodiment. Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time, like, you know, you married a nerd, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Come on now.
And she's like, I don't care.
Like, my wife today said some shit. She was like, what she say? We were talking about meditation, and she was like, "You had some weird stuff back then." I was like, "Hey, yeah. It's me." You know what I'm saying? Here I am. You know what I'm saying? This is how I got to be who I am. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff I did, different things I tried.
Right.
And it works out. Like obviously, we're all alive. We're healthy. We're strong. We're trying to do different things. I mean, first of all, before we get to any topics on the podcast or anything like that, I just want to say, like, I'm proud of you guys for doing what you're doing and still sticking with it. Because a lot of people start off, man, I get the success or results they have immediately, and they give up. You guys are still at it, still going strong with it. You know, I'm going to rock with y'all for the longest, still to promote the mess out of you guys.
Yeah, C's like a number one promoter,
like
man.
Is like a member of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, even though this is like, what, the second time we've had you on, man?
Yeah, like when we're not doing the cast, he's like, "What's up with the cast?" I'm like,
right.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
he's always inquiring about it. And,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you are a member of it, man. Anybody who comes on here and sits with us and talks with us. And you know what the thing is? It's easy because we're all friends anyway, right? So it's easy. It's easy to sit down and talk for 2 hours about random topics. Yeah. You know, and you know, if it was people you didn't like, it might be a little harder. It might not be as might not be still at it, you know.
Yeah, man. But you're right, man. It's all about willpower, man.
But you definitely a member.
Thanks for sticking with us, C.
And C, are you posting this on you're posting this underneath your podcast too, right?
Absolutely, gonna set up for Spread the Knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, also part of Edward Media Group. Let you know that.
Okay.
Edward Media Group.
So you got the promotion on there. We'll Spread the Knowledge podcast. You know, I'm definitely a subscriber.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, guys, you know, and that's what it is. So I guess we're gonna jump into Nipsey Hussle. That's the most relevant, you know, kind of pop culture topic, hip hop culture topic that's going on right now. And
speaking of thinking outside of the box, you know what I'm saying?
Sad thing what happened to the brother, man.
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle was definitely shot, fatally shot outside his store, Marathon Clothing in South Los Angeles. Eric Holder, a 29-year-old man who confronted Hussle earlier in the day, was arrested and charged with murder on April 2nd, 2019. Yeah, I just want to say Nipsey Hussle's real name is Ermias, Ermias, Joseph Axdom. I don't know how to say his last name.
Axdom.
All right, it's something, right? But it's not Nipsey Hussle, okay?
His mama didn't. Right? He wasn't born. He was like, oh, hello, you know, Nipsey.
It's funny that like his brand is Nipsey Hussle, but anytime they talk about him on the news or something like that, or article, they always say Nipsey Hussle. They never say his real name. You know what I mean?
I mean, but same with
real name,
Tupac. Right. Well,
true,
Tupac is
Tupac was his real name.
Well, Biggie. Right.
Right. You know, they call him the Notorious B.I.G. You know, the whitest voice possible.
Rapper known as Notorious.
Right. The hip hop rapper.
That's because they a lot of people in society they know you for what you represent. In this case, it was his brand, so they knew.
They knew Nipsey Hussle. They didn't know Ermias.
But they know his actual real name. So that's why they go by that. Same thing with the news. With Biggie. They're gonna say Notorious B.I.G. They're not gonna say, Christopher Wallace, known as Notorious B.I.G. unless he states it. Now, even with Jay-Z, everybody knows his name is Sean Carter, but they'll still call him by Jay-Z because that's how his brand is moderated.
Right, that's how he's known as, right, to the widest audience, right?
Right. Even in
Gucci Mane
movies and stuff like that. Like The Rock still has Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like a subtitle. Or
one day when we get famous, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be Daniel Juice. You know what I'm saying?
Common,
be Juice.
Common in his movies, his credit says Common. So people recognize you by your brand name. But Nipsey Hussle, man, was definitely shot down. And it's a sad thing because apparently he bought a lot of the buildings on the block he was gunned down on. And he was trying to invest back in his community. I heard that he was making plans to open some low-income housing units in that block, within that radius block that he bought. Just trying to help out. Because, gentrification is a real thing in California. I guess maybe we're a little more sheltered, like I always say here in Northern Virginia. And Chris in San Antonio. It's a multicultural community there.
No, it's definitely a thing in like DC. It's a thing in
right. It is, yeah.
Like cities, right? Where you have a certain kind of like certain cities, and I think one thing it was a comedian that brought it up was like black people will make a certain place or area cool, and however they make it cool, like through their music or however it's referenced, those areas garner attention, and when those areas start garnering attention, people start flocking to them. And it's funny because it's always that dichotomy of like the establishment or white folk will say that, hey, black people come in this area, lowers the property value.
Right.
Then as soon as a black person from a low property value hood area comes up and starts bringing attention and fame to the name, like Compton, right? People know that. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now this place has value. Again, same hood, people bringing real estate value in that area up.
Right.
And so what Nipsey Hussle was doing was he was purchasing up. He was making it so people were able to still afford to live there in order to still be able to live and prosper in that area, right? I heard he was featured in Forbes magazine. I didn't see the article, but in reference to that, like as far as becoming a type of real estate mogul in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other things, he also developed the what they call the STEM program, science, technology, engineering, math program. He created that for, he partnered with Vector 360 to get that set up and everything like that, because what he said there's a lot of people, there's a lot of kids, a lot of the youth in that area had the same ideas, the same ambitions as the people that live in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
But they didn't have the resource to do it. So that's why he developed that. So now,
one of the biggest wastes is like young people with great ideas who aren't able to manifest or aren't able to have the means in order to do something. So STEM programs, I wish more people would invest in things like that, because the most creative minds are the youth, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of black kids don't get at all any of those opportunities.
Because exactly, they don't see it.
Yeah.
They don't, and if you're in a bad environment, you're only going to see what's as far as that environment. That's what you grew up to be. Some people, you got to step out of it to make stuff happen. So when he developed that STEM program, that's just another avenue that kids can go to. Number one, keep them out of trouble.
Right.
But number two, keep their mind growing and make, who knows, could be create the next Google, the next Amazon. We just don't know. But because they have that program set up, you give them people an opportunity to do so.
Right. And that's super important. And it's cool because Nipsey was in tune with that.
Right. He's trying to give his people a chance. Especially coming from a low kind of self-esteem area where you have these possible great minds, but they don't know how to advance themselves because of their living situation or because of things they have to deal with outside of school, or so they give up or don't even try, But I will say one thing that sounds weird. In the Wikipedia page for Nipsey Hussle, says that he was shot in front of Marathon Clothing, right, his clothing store. Hussle was hit 5 times in the torso and once in the head. That does sound kind of execution style, right? Yeah, that's a lot for a dude that's panicking. 5 times in the chest and once in the head. Like, I mean, none of those shots hit him in the leg, stomach.
That's point blank.
Hand. Right. Like, and it is point blank. And it's
that's
like
5 to the chest, 1 to the head. Like,
it screams of him being right next close to Nipsey Hussle. So
center mass.
What kind of argument were these guys in? What happened? And I guess it's something that we'll never know unless... I know they do have footage of
What's
the
the guy?
altercation.
Eric
Holder.
Eric Holder.
I want to say.
Isn't that the name of a?
I don't even know. I did know a guy named Holder back in school or something like that, man. Brian Holder.
No,
I
I mean there's a bunch of Holders, but like Eric Holder in particular, I think is that like a district attorney somewhere. Anyway, everybody's got some names.
Well,
but
actually, another thing about that, and this is also why a lot of people is upset about, especially Master P. He said a lot of things about this, but the remember the prosecutor that prosecuted against OJ?
Right.
Yeah.
He's now the defendant for Eric Holder in this case.
Who was that? That was
I know who you're talking about though. He was in that. This is in a documentary I watched about OJ.
Not Star.
But it's
Clinton.
crazy.
I don't know. I'm
said
thinking
that,
about Ken Starr, but that's Clinton. So never mind.
In March, Hustle had contacted officials from the LAPD to arrange a meeting with him and Rock Nation about what they could do to help prevent gang violence in South Los Angeles. The meeting had been scheduled to take place on April 1st, 2019. Hustle was murdered the day before. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And I'm just bringing these things up because there's a conspiracy theory kind of idea floating around that Hustle was murdered, especially for his documentary on Dr. Sebi that's coming out. And these are also some other things that just are weird. I mean, so he hit the guy center mass the day before he was supposed to have a meeting with the police commissioner. And I'd say one way to end gang violence is to provide them opportunities, which Hustle was trying to do, right? Through, like he said, his STEM program, like provide these guys
for people
opportunity outside of just the streets, you know, whereas like jobs or some kind of activity to keep their minds engaged instead of the only outlet they have is acting in this gang.
It's struggle and money, and the only family or people they can relate to is in that gang.
Right.
Like I don't know, man. Like that's one thing.
Do you guys think there's anything to there being a conspiracy to murder Nipsey Hussle?
That's the thing. Like I'm gonna say I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. Because of course black people are very superstitious. So, and one of the biggest boogeymen for black people is the FBI, CIA,
the police, basically,
the popo, the police.
It's
right?
funny
so
because anytime police come
scared.
around, your first instinct, maybe not now because we're all grown men and we don't break the law, but your first instinct back in the day was to run. Right? Remember that shit? Remember back in the day when the police came?
Yeah.
That was shit. They the cops. You know
That's still my first
instinct. It was fun. It was fun to run.
I don't like seeing cops
around. You get nervous.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Let alone the FBI. Though. I see some FBI agents roll around. Like oh shit.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck is happening, man?
Like, oh shit, they taking
I might
us out.
Go ahead and get on my knees and put my hands on my head. Like, go ahead and do it now.
They about to be at my door, like, until John Deere talking.
Right.
So there's a lot of speculation of why he got murdered.
Right.
Obviously, the documentary he was trying to make, but it really goes down to just jealousy from one black man to another.
Yeah, right.
I think so too. Yeah.
That's really what it was. I mean, we could go on and on about all these conspiracy theories, speculations, why his security team wasn't there at the time when it happened. There's just so many things to add on to it, but it really draws down to just plain jealousy and the fact that he did have, he knew him somewhere, either a friend of a friend or he knew him directly. So.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just a sad situation. I mean, and
maybe it could have been a hit. Maybe it didn't have to be the FBI. Maybe somebody else was out for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Like I don't know how gangs work, but I know there's rules that be like, hey, you're in this gang and you're in this gang forever, right? Or
people get jealous.
Or other gangs who are like, oh, this dude's buying up our space on the block, right? He's buying up our area, right? And maybe other people in the area didn't react well to that because he was doing, even though he was doing positive things, maybe people reacted negatively to that for whatever their reasons, you know? The whole Dr. Sebi thing, as fascinating as that dude is, like, I don't know if that would have been a reason to assassinate a rapper. You know?
I don't think so either.
Like, he was a rapper, dude. Like, after all, I mean, he was just a rapper, dude. You know, one crazy thing I just point out is like, who Nipsey Hussle was. When I first heard the story, I didn't react because I was like, I knew the name.
Nipsey Hussle, yeah.
I knew the name, but I was like, hold on, who is this? And I just couldn't like pull anything, to the top of my mind immediately. But
all I ever knew was music from Nipsey Hussle. I mean, I heard that he was purchasing properties and everything like that. And you found out a lot
like
more
not
stuff.
minimizing him at all, but
Right.
like it took me a while. Then I was like, oh, I know him from these mixtapes, Sauce and Boys, or Compton stuff, right? So, and then it was like, oh, okay, that's what happened. That's who got killed, and it was like, I mean, it's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a good ass rapper, man. Like, he was doing positive things, and you hate to see stuff like this, man.
He was good, and I'd say his most admirable quality was the positive things, like you said, that he was doing in his community, which, like I said, the opening the low-income housing and the STEM programs, like C was saying, and he's just trying to give back, man, and to be gunned down, at a young age. I think he had some young kids.
How old is he?
What was he, 29?
29?
What was Nipsey Hussle?
No. He was I think he was between 29 and 31.
Okay, yeah. So that's a young dude, He's younger than us, man.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's just sad,
crazy,
man.
Dude.
I wish it didn't happen, but unfortunately it did, and hopefully, his community can move past it. And he's actually 33, 33 years old.
Yeah.
So
The guy who shot him was 29. So.
now get this. Now I'm gonna just add another question to this with the whole conspiracy thing about Nipsey getting killed. Also, the very next day, just going through my my Twitter feed and everything like that, Nick Cannon, which also he's a good friend of Nipsey as well. He now.
She's still wearing a turban.
Yeah, he's still wearing a turban. But
Why is Nick Cannon wearing a turban? Is he trying to make it cool?
He's in
that's
like
a whole other conversation.
Maybe it was just like a head wrap. Maybe it was hot outside and he just wanted to keep himself cool.
Well,
But I guess that's the reason that they wear turbans, right?
Well, that's still another conversation.
So he had a turban on?
But with that being said, he's a good friend with Nipsey, and because the documentary was not finished, Nick Cannon said, "I'm going to take care of that. We're going to get the documentary out."
Right.
So if anything happens to Nick Cannon after the documentary being made or whatever, then we can say, okay, this was a conspiracy that happened.
Right.
But
okay.
if it doesn't, then we know it was just like pure jealousy. So we'll just see what happens in the future when the documentary comes out.
And as I mentioned, Jay-Z definitely started a trust fund for Nipsey Hussle's kids. I'm not sure how many kids he had. So his kids are going to be fine. They're going to be taken care of. It's just sad that they lost their dad. Anybody who's a father can appreciate the fact that these kids don't have a father anymore. And, you couldn't imagine not being able to talk to your kids or, the good thing, I guess I don't want to say the good thing, but Nipsey's struggle is over and he can rest in peace. Apparently they caught the guy that shot him.
Yeah.
And hopefully
that's just good
he
work,
gets what he deserves in the legal system. But I guess we were talking about Dr. Sebi, and Nipsey Hussle was definitely producing a documentary on Dr. Sebi. I don't remember the name of it. But this is the main reason a lot of people think that he was killed because of his plans to release his documentary on Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Sebi was believed to have found, I pulled up a wiki page on Dr. Sebi as well, believed to have found the cure for AIDS, cancer, diabetes, and blindness. Now, I will say, for this whole thing with Dr. Sebi especially, I totally believe that he was murdered on some conspiracy stuff. Because if it's true...
When you look at how it went down...
Now, I heard that he had like 70-some-odd patients that he apparently had cured of cancer that he brought into a courtroom or something like that.
The Supreme Court.
Right.
I'm so uncomfortable with all this stuff.
But I mean... Guys get shot on the block over $200, right?
Yeah.
So when you start saying you cure things like AIDS and cancer and diabetes,
cutting on that pharmaceutical
money, we're talking millions of dollars.
That's why they're gonna assassinate. All right,
I completely believe that they would have killed Dr. Sebi or some stuff like that. And if Nipsey Hussle did uncover any, if
he was bringing more light
information,
more light to Dr. Sebi, what he did,
right,
then I guess if you're conspiracy theory minded, you could see that maybe that could have been a reason.
And I heard Dr. Sebi had some like crazy famous patients, man. I think even John Travolta.
I think Michael Jackson was one of
Left
them.
Eye, yep, Michael Jackson. That's crazy, man. So Dr. Sebi wasn't broke. He was getting paid. And I'm like, man, if he cured these diseases, though, that's definitely a reason to kill somebody, bro, because this is pharmaceutical money, all right?
Yeah, so it was when he was developing his diet regimens, his treatments, everything like that. a lot of people took him to court for it because, per se, he was not a licensed physician.
Right.
He didn't have his degree,
and he was making those claims on his products. So he bought ad space. He bought ad space in newspapers and make it public. Like, hey, I can cure this. I can cure that. And so people in, I guess, government or just like FDA or advertising agencies, everybody was like, hold on. You can't say this without proof.
Right.
So they're like, look, we need to go to court. Like, we need to, like, if you're saying these things and this ain't true, then you need to stop because that's illegal. Like, you're making false claims, which I see that shit all the time, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man. You still see that joint, man. But they would definitely. I think that's the main reason he went to court, because if those are unprovable, if they're unfounded claims, and you're just saying things, and I think they're gonna have to challenge you. You know, especially when you get a significant amount of following.
Yeah.
Because people start using your product. Because people are superstitious. Humans are superstitious. Like, humans are foolish, and they'll start using your product over actual medical treatment, which could be dangerous.
Right.
I mean, can you guys imagine? I mean, the pharmaceutical business in the United States alone is a multi-billion-dollar business. Can you imagine? And this is going on in the 80s where HIV, AIDS was spreading like wildfire. Can you imagine this man found a cure that everybody, he did say he found a cure, and he had 70-something patients proving that they were cured of it.
That's what they went into court and said that.
Right, but can you just imagine that the whole world knew about this and then gave it a shot before they try to go for any other medical treatments? I mean, it's multi-billion-dollar business, pharmaceutical business right now, and then we're in 2019. All that billion-dollar could have been gone or been utilized for other things from the 80s on if they just approved and allowed his regimen.
But we had to.
And how much money would these companies have lost since that time if they did allow this thing to go on? And it gives validation to the reason he could have been killed. You know, it gives validation to the.
So y'all know what his how Dr. Sebi came about to his how he found out about this, what his alleged cure is.
How?
So I was reading. I was really into Dr. Sebi like back in a couple years ago, and I remember one of the stories. And this is a story he told on the interview was having, and he said he was sick. He was suffering from obesity, and he had some other issues with his body. He was trying to sort out. So he went to this doctor in, I think it was Mexico,
right,
or somewhere, some Latin country. Might have been Mexico, might have been Honduras, whatever. Because Honduras is where he was last alive. That's where he was living. But still, he went to his doctor, and this guy's, I don't know if he's a witch doctor or a regular doctor or whatever, but the guy told him that, like, here, you have to change your diet. Things like this will help you with your issues you're going through, diseases you're going through, problems you're having. And so Dr. Sebi did this diet. He followed this program, and he was like, hey, this worked, and it worked for him. It cured him of everything he was having issues. And he asked, like, all right, what is this? Like, how is this working? Like, how is this diet you put me on working? And the doctor told him that this is a diet that comes from your natural environment, right? This is foods that you would find in your natural environment. And he was saying not things that you would find as a African. Right. He said these are foods from your alkaline foods from your natural environment as an African. And that this, because you're from this region, that these foods, these items, these herbs will help heal you. And that people are sick because they take in everything everyone else eats, right? Everybody eats the same things most of the time, right? And when you do that, you build up plaques in your system. Your body is out of balance, right? Your blood's not flowing properly because you're eating things that are not of your original habitat, right? These aren't the things your ancestors ate.
That makes sense. And honestly, like, even the way Juice described it to me, like, I would totally, if I had some, diabetes, or I was dealing with some sickness, and these doctors are telling me, here, take this treatment, take these pills every 12 hours or something, versus a cure or a program like what Juice just described. And that's from Juice, not even from Dr. Sebi. If he's sitting in front of me describing this, I'm going to try it because, it's one, it'll probably be cheaper, and a lot of a lot of things we know about the medical industry, it's not cheap, especially for people who don't have insurance.
Especially in America when they don't do market prices. Like they are very, like they'll hike the prices on Americans.
And why not try something natural instead of, people are into natural healing methods, and especially if they work.
When people are healthy, when you live a healthy lifestyle, there's significantly less medical situations you have to deal with in your life.
Right.
And that's less money for the medical industry. When you live and eat properly your whole life, if you're not grubbing on ribs, if you're not chopping up steaks, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't eating hot dogs
French fries
and cheeseburgers and all this stuff, French fries every day,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You ain't eating pasta and lasagna all the time, then you eat natural foods, your body has a reaction which is health.
It said that his wiki page, Dr. Sebi's wiki page, says that he had his most notable clients included celebrities like Lisa Left Eye Lopez, Steven Seagal, John Travolta, Eddie Murphy, and Michael Jackson.
I'm gonna go and say Steven Seagal didn't stick with it.
So it's like if you had these treatments on these celebrities and they're working, imagine what kind of clout and notoriety could be gained from these healing methods opposed to something generic made in a pharmacy that they're trying to sell you for $50,000 or something like that, So it makes sense.
But and I don't know, man. Like I'm conflicted because that doesn't mean like the medicines at the pharmacy or that that are produced don't work, right? And it's not that Dr. Sebi he had an actual cure. I don't honestly think Dr. Sebi cured shit. Like real talk, I don't believe that because it doesn't.
A lot of it is mind over matter, but a lot of sicknesses do take place in the stomach. Yeah. And
like this is your fuel source, right? Everything you put into you comes out of you, and this comes out in your energy. It comes out in your shit. It comes out in your life, right? And the food we eat affects our mental capacity,
right?
Our the way we view things, whether we're depressed or not. It all comes from what you eat, what you take in. Everything is biochemical. That being said,
but we know
if you have AIDS, broccoli ain't gonna help you.
We know an underwritten rule, but true that. When your penis falls off, broccoli ain't helping nothing.
You need to go to the doctor.
Hey, see, you know what I'm talking about. See, your penis falls off. Okay, how much broccoli you eat?
See, like, I don't know what you talking
about that.
I don't know about that.
But we know an underwritten rule in pharmaceutical in the industry is there's more money in the treatment than the cure, right? So
stay sick, keep paying.
Right, a lot of those pharmaceutical methods might have been more interested in treating a symptom or an ailment instead of curing it, and that's something that could have got Dr. Sebi in trouble.
Yeah, man. So, but still, man, he was a super charismatic dude, man. Like I listened to him talk for a couple of videos I found online. I'm telling you, I was into this joke, man.
Right.
Like I was vegan for a couple months, and then eventually felt just a pescatarian. But like the whole idea of using herbs to heal you, it's always been super fascinating to me. Like nature is so complete. Every medicine we get comes from nature.
Right.
Everything that's on the pharmaceutical company is a product of nature in some way, right? And the fact that if you know how to use, you go outside and look around your backyard, like Steph will tell you about this stuff.
Right.
You'll see things. You'll be like, oh, well, this is that, and this can be used for that, and that repository of knowledge is amazing to be able to have and to be able to heal people with.
And I definitely think if more
we don't get enough of that in our world, man.
If more people knew, they would definitely be into trying and giving it a shot.
Right.
Especially because, like I said, one of the price and who would not want to try something natural over something man-made? I think that would be people's first choice. Like I can either lay you underneath this, what they call it when you get cancer treatment.
You know
what I'm talking about?
The cancer,
right? The radiation, cancer radiation. Was it
chemo?
Right? When you get chemotherapy, who would try that over something natural that Dr. Sebi tried on some people and they say it worked for them? I mean, people would try that in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely something to look into. But You know, unfortunately for Dr. Sebi, he was apparently, I want to say killed. I would say murdered, but I don't know enough about it.
All right, so I don't know if you guys know. We're going to go over what happened with Dr. Sebi, how he died. And this was in 2017 or 2016? It was
2016.
2016. It was very recent. I remember when it happened, and I remember seeing it. It was like,
due to complications of pneumonia. So, Dr. Sebi,
a person who was super healthy in his life. Like, I remember they were talking about on what's the show? The Breakfast Club, and he was in there talking about how in shape this 77, 78-year-old dude was, and he was 80 something at this point, but still, and that he was living, according to the people around him, he had no issues with his health, and then he was arrested along with another person who was traveling with a large amount of cash. That person got
was it $37,000 or something like that?
Something like that, like a huge amount of cash on hand. He was traveling, and they were saying like, okay, this is money laundering. They arrested them both. In that place, Dr. Sebi caught pneumonia.
He was arrested multiple times for carrying that much money. So I guess he was accused of money laundering a couple times. They say he got arrested March 2016.
I can imagine that Dr. Sebi being a dude who didn't trust the bank.
$37,000 in cash.
He didn't seem like the dude who would put his money in the bank.
That was March 2016. So in May, 2 months later, after he was arrested the first time, he got arrested again carrying $50,000 and taken into custody. I'm like, damn, Dr. Sebi, like you got to get like a charge card account or something though. You know what I mean? I feel him though. I mean, you know,
I don't put my money.
Him being a naturalist, you could definitely see him not trusting the bank though.
I need my cash on hand.
Right.
I'm telling you, man.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and then in those environments, he got sick, and then on the way to hospital, he died due to pneumonia complication. And we all know, and this is not American jail. This is jail in Honduras. I don't know what jail in Honduras is like, but I know what American jail is like. Not from firsthand, but what I seen on TV, and that shit.
You ever seen Locked Up Abroad? Oh, you don't want to go to no jail in Honduras, dog. You don't want to go to no jail outside the U.S.
In my imagination, it's sweaty, moss-covered walls with a constant leak from the ceiling from some dude peeing upstairs. And Dr. Say was in that junk for months, I guess. I don't know.
You know you don't want to go to no prison in Honduras.
Hell no.
I'm not trying to go to prison, period.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, though. But yeah,
like
they definitely tried to get Dr. Sebi a couple times. The first time they tried to get him, as far as his lawsuits, 1987, New York City, he was charged with practicing medicine without a license, like you said earlier. Then when he got off on that, because the jurors claimed that the state failed to show he made a medical diagnosis, he was later sued again by New York, by a New York Attorney General for consumer fraud and prevented from making therapeutic claims for his products.
Which is okay. I get that.
So they tried to get him several times. Like, it's not like just one time he got in trouble. Like, so, this didn't work. All right, we're about to bring you to court again for this, you know.
My whole thing is, why didn't he just, all right, you know, whatever. But, why just get licensed.
Right.
Like, if you're a holistic doctor, you don't have to go to medical school to be a holistic doctor. You get licensed.
Right.
Just get licensed and you're fine.
Man, they said he cured everything, man. Hemorrhoids, everything. Like, damn, like, this dude would have been arthritis. Prenatal issues, poor circulation. I'm like, man, if this dude's methods were legit, he was going to make a huge dent in these pharmaceutical companies' pockets.
But here's the thing: it all really came down to diet. You don't have to subscribe specifically to Dr. Sebi. And this is what I'm gonna say right now.
But imagine if he opened.
Y'all have to eat better, man. Like, if you have problems, if you got high blood pressure, you need to eat differently. If you have hemorrhoids, nigga, you gotta eat differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got some issues going on, you gotta eat differently, man, because it changes everything.
Hemorrhoids like that suck, though. Like, I've seen that joint. You know, pregnant women get hit.
Oh man,
I had to stop myself mid-sentence.
Yeah,
but, yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy.
You gotta eat differently.
Right.
You got to change your whole lifestyle. Your eating, exercise, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, like C said.
And for a lot of people, it's not easy. I mean, it's really not that easy. But once you build that habit,
because Krispy Kreme is delicious.
All right, who don't want a Krispy Kreme donut? Man?
I seen Dr. Sebi though.
I seen this. What's that? You know that show, Man vs. Food? You know,
Yeah.
I seen him make a burger out of a Krispy Kreme donut once, dog. That
Yes.
don't look so banging.
What was that deal with the Luther, yo? Remember the Luther from Boondocks, yo?
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
joke was,
Everybody got addicted. Everybody got addicted to the burgers.
That joke was it was 2
Hey, but
donuts.
seriously, that burger looked banging, man. They made it like a baseball.
That joint
park.
had-
That shit
had
had tomatoes,
ribs on it.
onions. That joint looked so banging.
But yeah, you
They
gotta-
don't have a
you gotta
McRib?
just, gotta change your lifestyle, and then once you do it for like say 28 days straight, it becomes a habit. It becomes second nature.
See, I don't know about that though, because changing people's lifestyles, like the way they've been living, you know, that's hard, man. It's like
Exactly.
because religion gets tied up in that, diet, you know, the way you think is tied up in that, and it's hard to change people's
It is.
way
It's
of
like-
life.
It's
And you-
hard to do, but
People,
once somebody does
the
it,
person who
it
you
might
want to
help them.
change will probably be the top enemy of changing. You know,
Yeah. The person who needs it the most is the one fighting the hardest against it, right?
Always.
Like, but at the same time, it ain't about them. It's about you.
That's true.
Talk to the camera. It's about you.
All
What
right,
you
guys.
gonna do for you?
So
You know what I'm
anything
saying?
else y'all want to say on Dr.
You ain't
Sebi? Are we
gotta
breaking
make
this
doc-
one into segments? We breaking this one into segments? Or we just keep going?
No, let's break in the segments, man, because this
Yeah,
makes
word.
it easier for me. So, all right, guys. Thanks, and check us out in the next cast. We're gonna be talking about
Next segment.
the Mueller report. I
Are
think
we doing the next segment? We're doing the Mueller report next segment.
next segment.
Right.
So check us out. Peace.
Peace.